Hey, what's up guys? It's Joe from GadgetryTech.com, and today we're going to talk about the Rosewill gaming speakers, specifically the SP-7260s. These things are massive. Now it's a 2.0 channel system, not a 2.1, so there's no subwoofer. Take that for what you will. Some people prefer the bass, others either don't have the space for it or just could care less. So let's get these unwrapped and then we'll discuss the speakers themselves. Alright, so now that I have these things unboxed, let's take a look at them. You can tell they're huge. This is the right speaker, by the way, so let's just flip this around so it's more accurate here. Of course, you can reverse that the sound balance in your computer if you want this on the left side. So right speaker has the controls, bass, treble, volume. You have a headphone jack in and out. So aux cable input, headphone jack out. So if you want to connect your cell phone to it without disconnecting it from your computer, you can do that. Now these things are obviously massive, they're very deep, they have some weight to them. This is a 22-inch monitor, so it's almost the same height as that, if that puts it in perspective. Now the cables are kind of all over the place because I've actually demoed these quite extensively for a while. So I'm going to let you in on a secret. Rosewill, when I was contacted by them to do the review on these, I said, sure, send them over, I'd love to. I actually didn't respond right away because, you know, typically I don't like to do too many sound reviews. Sound is very subjective or objective, depending how you look at it. Everyone has different preferences. It's like art. Now, good sound is good sound, but some people like clip speakers because they have nice bright highs from those horn tweeters and booming bass from those powerful subwoofers. Other people like something from Vienna Acoustics or Martin Logan. They all have different sound characteristics. Doesn't mean one's better or worse than the other. It's what you like. So I was reluctant, but I took these guys in, and I'm glad I did because there's a couple amazing things about these speakers. I used to be an audio pro for Magnolia Home Theater. I've demoed hundreds of different models of speakers. I have a very high-end sound system in the living room. Now this is it's kind of interesting. There's no subwoofer, but the frequency response on the low end kind of falls off a bit. I was like, man, I wish they had a little bit more rumble at down bottom. You know, you can't expect too much because they're small 4-inch woofers, but you know, depending with tuning, you can make it sound kind of deep. The audio spec sheet on the manual says that the frequency response starts at 60 hertz. So anything below that is gone. Now, if you need super booming bass, you're either getting something with the subwoofer anyway or gaming headphones. Most 2-channel speakers don't have that kind of frequency response, at least in this price range. The ones that do typically sacrifice other parts, and the reason why I want to point that out, so the way this thing works, it has silk tweeters, 1.5 inch, and then 4-inch woofers. Now when you have a speaker size that crosses over like that, you don't have anything missing on the higher frequencies. So what blew me away with this one is the vocal qualities, and the highs are crystal clear. I want to say it's perfectly flat, but when a lot of people hear that the sound is flat, you typically think it's boring and dull and lifeless. That's not the case. They're very lively speakers, kind of like what JBL sounds like, just missing a little bit of the lower end bass. But I have, you know, Harman Kardon sound sticks with the subwoofer, and which I've always had a very difficult time replacing. I know they look terrible, so you can make your comments and joke about them, that's totally fine. I know a lot of people make fun of them. They sound incredible, and I do a lot of video production, so that's important to me. I am replacing those with these finally, and I've demoed a lot of other speakers before, just because the accuracy that this has with vocals and high frequencies is unbelievable. I put this in a very large open space, and you thought I had a giant surround system. Now I was missing that low end frequency and punch, but I don't need that for the stuff I do in the computer. So take that for what you will. I don't think you have to worry about missing too much low end bass. Your neighbors might appreciate it if you live in an apartment or a dorm and you're looking for good speakers. But as far as raw sound quality goes, these things are incredible. Now let's quickly get into the cables. This is just an adapter. It could give you, you know, depending on what your audio configuration is, it's going to give you the extension cord and then the RCA in for, headphone jack. Here is a standard headphone jack on both sides, 1/8 inch or 3.5 millimeter, depending how you want to view that measurement. This will work for the aux cable on the side, or through this if you want to extend it from your computer and you need something super long. This is the main cable that you would use as long as it's long enough. It's about, let's see, 6 feet tall. All right. So this will go in the back of your sound card on the computer, and the other end is a red and white RCA, because on the back of this guy is a red and white RCA input. This is your SPDIF. I forgot the name of it. It's like a large PS2 type connection, but that'll go from this speaker to the left. You plug that in. Power switch and input. Now, one thing I want to point out and appreciate, I don't have the cable over here right now, but it's a standard 120 volt 2-pin input jack, which means there's no power supply sitting on the floor. So if you like to have a very clean desk, this is going to make it a lot easier to manage, because you just have sound coming from the computer, sound from left to right, and a single power cord straight to the wall. So I'm going to try to set this up so you can hear a quick demo. That way you hear the tone differences between these two speakers, even though it's going to sound a bit muddled down or inaccurate because of the microphone on the camera and your speaker system at home. That'll change it. It'll at least give you an idea how fairly expensive, more expensive than these Harman Kardon sound sticks compared to these large bookshelf speakers without the sub. So I'm going to set that up, but all in all, I've been blown away by it. They sound amazing. So stand by, we'll get that set up. Okay, so I have them hooked up now so we can do a quick audio demo. Now I just wanted to show you the knobs. I'm going to adjust this, that's the volume. Even though both treble and bass are set to 0, if you will, so no loss or gain, it's actually slightly to the right. So I just want to point out, I'm not sure if that was a design choice or just the way it's assembled, but it actually goes slightly past center. So there is a little feedback. You can feel it click into place when it's at neutral. So I'm going to play a song from a guy called The Pete Box, P-E-T. That's P as in Peter. He plays his own guitar when he does play guitar. He sings, raps, however you want to call it, and then also does a lot of these loops that he plays through a loopback device. Pretty incredible. He's very talented. I'll put a link below. But I like playing him because it's a nice flat sound. He's done everything, so it's not one part is way stronger than the other. It's all fairly similar, which helps showcases the difference in speaker quality really well. So I'm going to play that and give you an idea how they compare to the Harman Kardon sound sticks, which are equally expensive, if not more expensive than these. So that'll give you a ballpark between a higher end 2.1 system versus a 2-channel system.
We passed upon the stair, smoking walls around.
So they sound incredible. I've had similar sound come out of higher end bookshelves with a full dedicated separate amplifier. So for a 2-channel system, even though the low frequencies are lacking just a little bit, the mids and highs are incredible. That's very, very accurate. So on this next part, I'm going to leave these playing, turn these on while it's playing, and you're going to immediately notice, even though these have excellent highs and good bass frequencies because of the sub, the vocals are lacking that warmth. It's almost tinny and lifeless, and that's just because the driver size. So I want to showcase the importance of having a nice size woofer for your mid frequencies, and this is a ported enclosure, so that's going to get the most out of those frequencies without sounding too artificial. So I'm just going to turn these on while this is playing, and you're going to feel or you're going to hear the music come to life. And that's all because of the way those mids and highs are crossed over. They sound amazing. Turn them off now.
and shook his hand. Laying the weight back on. I stood strong on land.
So there's a huge difference. I should have been more forthcoming with them that I'm kind of an audio geek, but I think they'll appreciate that I find these so highly regarded when it comes to sound quality. You really should check them out. I know Newegg is the exclusive carrier, so it's hard to find these in a store and listen to them. But I hope this video helps you find some peace knowing how they compare to a speaker like this, which is pretty highly regarded, not for its looks. They obviously look ridiculous, but they sound great. These kind of shame those when it comes to good mid frequencies. If you're listening to a lot of heavy hitting techno and dubstep or hip hop, then I do not recommend these, the Rosewills, because the low frequencies aren't quite there. But for everything else, it's worth getting those mids. So hopefully you guys like the review. If you need anything else, shoot me a comment below or ask me a question. I'll be happy to answer them for you. And thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.